Whether you call it the flow state, the zone of genius, infinite intelligence, we are connecting into something larger than our limitations. This is what becoming more limitless is. This is what tuning into source, raising your vibration, going deeper to shift your consciousness is all about. And we're going to talk about how this is the secret to fluency in the field and how fruitful ideas that are truly relevant to the intention of service help you to add value to the world by giving up the struggle to think your singular self, has to have it all figured out. Welcome to the channel. I am Joshua, and this space is devoted to helping you to tune into alignment and understand the tools of your own alchemical empowerment. Let's dive right in. Our role is not to control. We can get too caught up in our attachment to the physicality, to the personality, as needing to be the one who figures it all out. But taking massive action alone is puny and paltry in comparison to lining up our energy with source, with consciousness. Because when you start looking at what all genius inventors, mystics, seers, great business people, what was the relevancy of their message and of their impact across time? Why was it so influential? What makes one person so influential and another not? What makes an idea like be the change be so influential? Is that these people are tapped into source energy. That is the flow state space. That is the zone of genius. That is in collective consciousness that poets tap into as well. It's this place where we can access our own spark of infinite intelligence and be able to understand what fluency is in connecting with the field. Because nature loves fluency. Nature loves flow. When you feel fluent in something, like you're fluent in a language, you feel proficient in it. It's the same thing with being a conduit. You don't try to use a toaster before you plug it in. You don't plug it in, you turn it on, you don't blame the toaster. What's wrong with the toaster? You didn't plug it in. Taking massive action without plugging in the toaster is like putting 2 pieces of toast in it and smashing the thing down 20 times and saying, well, I took massive action. Why isn't the toast toasted? You only looked like you were being really productive, because we are programmed to think that hard work and effort equals value. But value is actually what you value. Value is what we value. That's why currency is like the currency of electricity. It's like a current, or it's like the currency of water. It's flow, it's fluency. It's what we value. Because, look, when you start shifting into this perspective that the universe is managing the resources, coming back to the source, and understanding that it's like, it's your job to follow your highest excitement and trust that you are supported by the universe. And that's also leaning into the unknown. That's where growth happens. That's where this edge of evolution happens. Like, you can develop certainty, but you can develop certainty in the fact that the divine will support your highest excitement. Sometimes we become so certain that our one way of looking at it is the way that it needs to be, and that creates attachment to result. But when you just create more space and you let it breathe, you let it flow, and you start listening more to the impulse of creativity. This is why meditating first thing in the morning and also going to sleep, saturating yourself into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You're creating that mind-body bridge. You're creating a connection between the unconscious and the conscious. And between that is divination. The word divination means to converse with the divine. Is to have a conversation with the deeper aspects of our consciousness beneath our line of mystery. Because there's a horizon at the shore. You may have a map of where you're going. Somebody else told you what was on the other side. But until you see it for yourself, you don't know. You got the horizon. But that's a beautiful thing, because that also allows the space for us to surrender more, for us to have faith and have trust and give it over to God, give it over to source consciousness. Because then you don't have to have it all figured out. You get to be a cooperative component. You get to be a part of the creation itself. You get to lean into that and also plug yourself in. Allow yourself to be charged up, and you'll start receiving these inspirations. You'll start being fluent in the field. You'll start getting inspired ideas. You'll start getting fruitful ideas. Because, as you sow, so shall you reap. But when you have the fruitful ideas, you have the ideas that are coming from inspiration and that are fluent because they're connected to source. So you're with the intention of being of service and adding value. Now you're tapped into the stream where you're trusting that the universe is going to deliver according to that intention. And so it always does. And you will always have another inspired idea. And this is where innovation comes from. This is where inventions come from. This is why two people on both sides of the planet, scientists discover the same innovation at the same moment in time. This is why the 100th monkey effect. Like, you're tapping into the quantum field and you're accessing ideas and inspirations. That's why all successful people know that it's an ideas game. It's not an effort game. There's a point where you cannot equate time to dollars. It's not equal. It's not even relevant once you get to the point of realizing that it's all ideas. Your iPhone, that's an idea. It wasn't because he worked hard and did all of it himself to make all of these devices. He couldn't even made the devices or the company without the idea. You're dealing with ideas. The ideas are the seeds of consciousness. And when you become a cooperative component to it, now you're having fruitful ideas. You're having relevant ideas. You're having ideas that serve. And now you're in relationship with the principle of interconnectedness that connects everyone. So of course, whatever comes to you and comes through you is going to hit and deliver at the perfect right time. That's why, like, all the successful people, you look at Napoleon Hill and you're studying, the principles of success, that what is it that these people have in common? Strong vision, absolute determined purpose, and understanding of universal consciousness and principles of faith, feeling as if it's already happened, and with the end goal in mind, living into the version of themselves that is, and when they receive the inspired action, the inspiration, they are quick, instantaneous to make a decision, and slow to change their word later. Quick to make a decision, very considerate before they change the momentum they've already created, because it's starting at alignment. It's like When there's a boulder at the top of the hill, but it's not rolling down the hill, and it's situated just right, all you got to do is poke it with your finger and it starts rolling down the hill. That is the power of momentum. That is the power of the fruitful ideas that you receive from source consciousness with a clear intention in mind, and then allowing yourself to be a cooperative component when the inspiration takes place to take the action in the moment. That wires the mind-body connection in. But you got to let go and make space and let go of the idea that it's about struggle and strife and working hard and working all day, and look at reprogramming what exactly are my values. Like, that's the deeper thing, because this currency, this money, all this stuff, these are tokens of what we value. We say it has value, so therefore we assign currency to it. The currency is part of the flow of resource. But when you step out of your own way, you look at your deeper values, you line up with infinite intelligence, and you let it do its job to bring to you the perfect synchronicities through the universal laws at the perfect time. And when you feel your highest excitement, you say yes, you follow that joy. That's following your bliss, and that's being a cooperative component to universal forces. And just moving in that direction consistently, then you get to this point of every day, you start building it into this practice where now you are a conduit of creation. And then that momentum just starts taking on a life of its own. You start leaning in and becoming this new version of yourself. And it is powerful. And everything responds because of that vibration. Peace.